Every generation is reacting differently to COVID 19. And this is really based on the experiences and that the particular generation is going through. I'm going to be discussing in this video the impact on young adults. And by young adults, what I'm referring to is the millennials. That's Gen Y and Gen Z. Yesterday, I spoke about the impact that COVID has had on the younger kids. So today, we will talk about the millennials. Young adults will certainly have their worldview shaped by this current crisis in much the same way as our parents, our grandparents had during the Depression, during World War II, or other similar challenging periods. Now, life has been fairly kind to these young adults. Yes, there was recession in the 80s and again in the 90s, but all in all, a fairly sunny view of the world. I can actually see some eyes rolling up here. The current pandemic, however, is a very formative moment for the Gen Z and the millennials. As recent as the first quarter of 2020, we were observing a war for talent. And that is now replaced by the summer jobs, internships, and even full-time jobs being cancelled or at the best deferred to a later date when possible. Such a contrast in just a matter of one quarter. This period is especially challenging for these youngsters. I've heard some of them express a feeling of being paralyzed by this loneliness from social isolation, or by the fear that their parents will get sick or die. There's a lot of anxiety and depression, kind of helplessness for some of them. Now, this generation largely is always on the move, physically, emotionally, mentally. Fast-paced is what I define the millennials. They're looking to make things happen now. In fact, whether it be a business or a cause that they are passionate about, they want it done as of yesterday. Now, there's no right or there's no wrong here. What I'm getting at is that the current time is about an overall slowing down. And that is the reverse direction of the fast pace. And it can be very hard for these youngsters. Quarantine and social distancing could potentially lead to more severe long-term mental health issues for this younger generation. So to them, I'm saying, instead of complaining, it sucks that I can't hang out with my friends or see my friends, use this time to ask yourself questions like, how do I feel about the current situation? How is it truly impacting my actions and behavior? Take time off to reflect on your own feelings. Social distancing and working from home can truly be a dreadful experience. I understand that. But it's all about perspective. View it as having the space and the opportunity to focus on yourself. It is okay to feel lonely or frustrated or even sad at times. The coronavirus has altered how we live our daily lives. But that doesn't mean everything has to change. When things have changed, your routine doesn't have to. Try to stick to the routine, stick to the structures. Now, if you get up at a particular time, get up at the same time, unless you have those late night work calls. Having some sort of familiarity in your daily activities can make life more manageable. Dress up, show up each day instead of sitting in your jammies the whole day or not paying attention to personal hygiene. Spend time focusing on things that are within your control. Keep your immune system strong by maintaining a healthy diet, exercising, getting adequate amount of sleep. Now, these are the things that you have a control over. Move the focus from what you can't control to what you can. Embrace the uncertainties And this is one that people truly struggle with the most. Look, we don't know what we don't know. So stop getting obsessed over things like what's going to happen next? How long will we be trapped in our homes? When will all this end? Will the supermarket shelves be adequately stocked? Even in the darkest of times, we must try to find some light, some form of positivity. And most importantly, make sure you remain connected with your friends, with your colleagues, and with your family, especially the elders in the family. This is the time they need you the most. When we connect, it kind of helps us deal with the stress and it moves us away from unhealthy coping mechanisms like eating too much, gorging on food or drinking or whatever. So don't isolate yourself completely. According to some studies, loneliness can be as damaging to our health as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Yes, more than anything else, turn off those news channels. Ensure controlled media intake. Now, on the flip side of things, I also know of many youngsters who are taking action to keep communities healthy and connected. And I completely believe that these actions will rebuild what will be lost during this pandemic. Now, in the end, it will be the values and the leadership of you millennials that will help alleviate this financial crisis. We look up to you as a picture of someone not dealing with economic strain, but working to balance your own health and finances, caring for your parents, and leading the transition into the digital world as well. This crisis is your opportunity, millennials and Gen Z, to pick up the baton of the future.